Alright, ready for the end of this story? Man, things are taking a wild turn here. Come with me and you'll see what I mean. The whole group heads to an amusement park, and Maho, super excited, says it's finally time for her date with Saito. That makes Himari raise an eyebrow and ask what's going on between those two. Maho, with a mischievous grin, blurts out that she's Himari's love rival, which makes Himari swear she's not letting that slide. Then they all start having fun on the rides. Everyone except Akane, who's absolutely terrified of everything. When she gets on the Ferris wheel with Saito, he notices she's completely freaked out, and she opens up, saying she just doesn't get why people would want to do something like this. She looks around at all the rides in the park, and he, surprised, asks why she even came then. She says it's because of Maho. Akane explains that her sisters always loved doing fun stuff with people. She believes it's because Maho spent so much time stuck in bed, sick. So now, the least she wants to do is make the most of things while she's still in Japan. Saito tries to calm her down, and even offers to hold her hand. But Akane, totally suspicious, thinks he's trying something just because they're alone. Still, she ends up agreeing. She's scared out of her mind. After that, they head to a haunted house, where Akane ends up crying from fear while Saito and Maho are just impressed with how realistic the zombies and everything look. Yep, real little psychos those two. Later that night, when Saito goes to bed, Maho suddenly jumps on him out of nowhere. Already drained from everything that's been happening, he just asks if by any chance she was at his grandpa's graduation party back in middle school. He describes this gorgeous girl he met there, and Maho, hearing it all, starts thinking he's talking about the love of his life, which, to be fair, isn't that far from the truth. And then, to his surprise, she reveals that she is that girl and says they should get married since he's clearly in love with her. He stops her when she starts getting a little too close, and she, full of confidence, says she loves him. But he cuts her off and says the truth is, she hates him. Sadly, she admits he's right, and then, pretty boldly, tries to kiss him. But before it happens, Akane shows up, furious, and tells them both to get out of the house. Trying to smooth things over, Saito offers to take Maho back home. That way, he could stay at a hotel. But Maho, being her pushy self, insists on staying with him. Oh yeah, she's got no shame. When they get to the hotel, he rushes into the room and locks the door, which only makes her more pissed. She threatens to tell everyone he took her to a hotel without her parents' permission, and with no other choice, he ends up letting her in. Still, she threatens him with a fire extinguisher, and he, completely done with the whole thing, grabs it from her and tells her to leave. That makes her start crying. The guy looks at her and asks if she's shocked that Akane said she hates her, and she, a bit thrown off, says her sister would never actually stay mad at her. Deep down though, Maho believes Akane won't speak to her again. She apologizes to Saito for making him leave his house, and in the weirdest way possible, she offers to make it up to him with her body. But he, being the voice of reason here, just looks at her and says, "Dude, shut up and go to sleep, will you?" The next day, Saito notices that Maho's sick, and he gets ready to call an ambulance. But she stops him, since that would get her family involved, and Akane would find out she got sick. He tells her she really shouldn't be worrying about stuff like that, but she insists it's nothing unusual for her. Still, she's in such rough shape that he decides to take her to the hospital anyway, but he makes sure to leave before her parents arrive, just to avoid any misunderstandings. At school, Akane asks where her sister went, since their parents told her Maho went on another trip. Saito says maybe they're telling the truth, but Akane can feel something's off. After school, Saito brings some food to Maho. During their talk, he mentions how she still travels a lot, even with her fragile health. She replies that she doesn't know how much time she's got left, so she wants to make the most of it. She reveals that when she went overseas, she didn't want Akane to worry, which is why she asked him to keep everything a secret. Saito, who had thought she was just mad at him for stealing Akane away, starts to realize that, in truth, Maho just wanted her sister to be genuinely happy. Turns out, that little psycho's got a bit of a heart after all, huh? She then admits she tried to take Akane's place, because she didn't want her sister to marry a guy she hated. She starts crying, thinking Akane probably already hates her man. But our ever-reasonable Prota tells her sister still loves her. 100% no doubt. When he walks out of the room, he bumps right into Akane, who had been standing by the door the whole time. And when she realizes he saw her there, she just turns red and runs off, cause she heard the whole conversation. A week later, Maho apologizes to Akane for everything and asks her to forgive Saito, since he didn't actually do anything wrong. And yeah, technically, the guy really didn't do anything wrong. Maho was all over him like crazy. What was he supposed to do? Akane, with a slight smile, says, Maho shouldn't try to sacrifice her own happiness over something she can't control. Maho then reveals she's starting to fall for Saito, which makes Akane flip out and accuse him of playing her sister. Man's just too smooth. Forget it. He's a total heartbreaker. Then Maho, with a cheeky grin, says she knows exactly who that mystery girl was that Saito mentioned, and she'll tell him if he just gives her a kiss. He's clearly 0% interested in that kiss and just tells her to get lost and skip the dialogue already, man. Alright, this is starting to get annoying, huh? Later on, Saito apologizes to Akane, and she asks if he really meant what he said at the hospital. He gets a little embarrassed and blushes, but says yes. That makes her happy, and she tells him to come back home. But Himari, who overheard everything, realizes they're actually living together. The rest of the class starts gossiping about their relationship, but they stay chill and quickly shut it down, saying there's no way they'd ever live together. Our prota, kind of bothered by all the rumors, grabs Akane's hand and pulls her out of the classroom, where she immediately blames him for the whole situation. The guy, completely out of patience, reminds her it was her who brought up them living together in front of everyone. Shinsei, already picking up on what's going on, walks over and says they should get the hell out of there ASAP, and that's exactly what they do. They hop on a bus and ride it all the way to the last stop, but as if it were some kind of joke, they end up lost and have no idea where they are. And to make things worse, there won't be another bus until the next day. Shinsei, exhausted, collapses on the ground and says she can't walk anymore. But surprise, out of nowhere, the maid shows up in a car and reveals she's been tracking her with a GPS. The maid just throws Shinsei into the car and leaves Saito and Akane behind. Man, what a piece of work that woman is. Once the two finally get home, tired from all the walking, they hear a strange noise. When they check it out, they find something under the blanket. Akane, with her fierce protective instincts, tries to whack it with a baseball bat, but our prota steps in with a bit of common sense, and in the middle of the struggle, he ends up falling right on top of her. And that's when Maho walks in and starts snapping photos of the two, saying they're being all romantic in the middle of the day. Himari, who had been following behind, apologizes for exposing their secret, but they tell her it wasn't her fault, man. They also say sorry for hiding it from her, but Himari admits she had already suspected they were living together. Saito explains that their grandparents fell in love when they were younger, and that's why they're trying to rekindle that love through the two of them. That's when Himari finally gets that they're not actually in love, which means, yep, she's still got a shot. This girl just doesn't quit. She's relentless. She suggests they prove to the rest of the class that the rumors aren't true, just to shut everything down once and for all. But Saito and Akane have no clue what she's talking about. The next day, our prota tries to act like Shinsei is his girlfriend, but no one really buys it, since those two have always been kinda too close anyway. Shinsei ends up thinking they need to be bolder and asks him to kiss her, but the guy doesn't even hesitate, just straight up says no, that he's not going that far. Obviously, man, are you out of your mind? Kiss your sister? Are you insane? Then Maho offers to be his girlfriend, but Saito, with the face of someone who already knows exactly what she's capable of, turns her down, saying he has no idea what kind of chaos she'd bring into his life. Himari, realizing she's the last option to clean up this mess, says she can be his girlfriend, but only if he's comfortable with it. She says he doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to, but that she's more than willing to help. Oh sure, she's just doing it to help, right? Yeah, okay. Back at home, Akane reminds Prota that he's pretending to be Himari's boyfriend, so he better keep himself in check and not get carried away, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But our little clueless Prota, not really getting it, asks if he can hug or kiss Himari, and she calmly replies that it's fine, but he'll have to deal with the consequences. Yeah, for a clueless guy, he's catching on pretty quick, huh? The next day, Himari starts acting like she's really Saito's girlfriend, and after lunch, she takes him to an empty classroom. He, totally confused, asks what they're supposed to do there, and she, a little unsure herself, says she's got a bunch of ideas but doesn't know which one to pick. Yep, this girl's got plans, man. Watch out. He starts laughing, surprised she doesn't even know what to do. She admits it's because she likes him. He smiles and says she can do whatever she wants, so she asks if she can sit on his lap. She says she always gets jealous seeing how close he is with Shinsei. She even gets a little awkward and says it's a weird thing to ask from a girl her size, and she tries to backtrack, but he tells her it's fine and not to worry about it. So she sits on his lap and asks him to hold her tighter. Man, for a fake couple, they're doing a really convincing job. She points out that people are watching, so this'll only help them believe it even more. After that, some classmates ask Himari what's going on, and she reveals that she and Saito are dating, causing everyone to wonder what happened between him and Akane. Himari, with that grin only a gossip lover would have, says it was all just a joke, that she got jealous seeing how friendly Saito was being with Akane. Just your classic case of girlfriend jealousy, right? Later, Akane confronts Himari and says she's going too far. But Himari replies that if it looks like that to her, then it means the plan's working. Saito and Himari spend a day together, and just as he's about to drop her off, she invites him in. He declines. So she starts crying, and with a sigh, he gives in and says he'll stay just a little longer. As he looks around her room, he notices a bunch of psychology books, and starts wondering if she's actually a lot smarter than she lets on. Himari shows him how everyone in school is talking about them now. Impressed with how well her plan worked, he compliments her, but she shrugs it off, saying it was all just dumb luck. Still, he's already picked up on it and tells her it had nothing to do with luck. He's seen the kind of books she reads. He asks if she's into psychology, and she reveals she was bullied in elementary school, but Akane stood up for her, and that's what made her want to study psychology, thinking maybe she could help others too. She feels kind of silly for that, but he compliments her, saying she's really been doing her best for her friend. Himari, with a sparkle in her eye, asks if he has romantic feelings for Akane, but our prota says he doesn't see her that way, which makes Himari wonder if she might actually have a chance with him. She says she doesn't care about anything else, as long as she gets to have him for herself. She also mentions that her parents don't come home while she's staying there, and our prota says his parents are the same way. He gets ready to leave, but she grabs his arm and asks him to stay a little longer. She's quick, man. Bold move. Just throws herself at the guy. Let's go. Later, Saito goes back home and tells Akane he stayed a bit longer at Himari's place, which clearly surprises her. Then Himari calls Akane to check if Saito got home okay. She mentions that the rumors already died down, but still thinks they need to do a little more to kill it off completely. She asks Akane if it doesn't bother her being so close to Saito. She even offers to back off if Akane feels jealous. But without even thinking, Akane says she doesn't have feelings for him. That's when Himari, with a smug little grin, realizes the situation is perfect for her. Akane gets to keep living with him, and Himari gets to keep playing the girlfriend role and enjoying every second of it. On a quiet evening, Saito realizes he still hasn't even exchanged contact info with Akane. The dude's basically living with her like a married couple and hasn't even gotten her number yet. Come on, man. Get it together. Be a little proactive. He asks for her number, and she shyly smiles and gives it to him, saying he's the first guy on her contacts list, but she decides to save his name as Idiot because she doesn't want anyone finding out about the messages. Saito tries to suggest a better name, but she makes up something even worse, and he just gives up and says, "Fine, Idiot, it is." Akane then starts sending him random messages, even though they're in the same room. Saito, totally confused, wonders what's wrong with her. She runs out of the room, but then immediately calls him on the phone, and he's just standing there like, "We're still in the same house. What are you even doing?" But hey, that's love, man. Don't question it. The next day, our prota asks Maho for more info about the girl he met at his grandpa's party, promising he'll do anything in return. Shinsei asks why he's so curious, and he says he's just curious, that's all. He suspects it might be Akane, but remembers the girl at the party looked like an angel. Akane's more like a demon. Maho says she'll tell him if he hugs her. Saito agrees without hesitation, which catches her off guard. Shinsei picks up on the vibe and invites them both out on a date. Both of them skip school, and Saito's still left without the answer he needed. Meanwhile, Akane texts him complaining about how messy the house is. Saito thinks there's just no way the girl from the party could be Akane. No way it's her. When he gets back home, he just ignores a call from his grandfather, but that doesn't stop the old man. He launches a video call straight to the big TV in the living room and announces there's going to be a birthday party. And if Saito wants any chance of leading the company, he better get along with the birthday girl first. Akane hears a voice and asks what's going on, so Saito tells her about the party and invites her to come, but she gets nervous and says she needs some time to mentally prepare. Still, she promises she'll be fine on her own and wants to take the chance to spend time with Himari. At the party, Saito gets a warm welcome. Reiko mentions that the boss sees him as part of the family. Everyone's already drunk, and the birthday girl, Shizu, greets him with a ton of friendliness. His grandpa asks when he and Akane are going to have kids, and Saito, obviously, changes the subject. Like, come on, man. The guy just got married, still in high school, and the old man's already asking about babies? As the conversation goes on, the grandpa even says he thought Saito would end up with Shinsei, which makes her get all flustered and blush. Saito tells Shizu not to take that seriously, but she smacks him and says he should treat her gently. Meanwhile, Himari visits Akane and says she's happy things are finally cool between them. Akane replies that she understands why Himari did what she did, and that she doesn't really care about Saito like that. They make cupcakes together, but Himari snaps a photo and sends it to Saito, revealing they've been messaging for a while now. Akane shows a bit of jealousy, but says it's fine. "Yeah, right, girl. You're not fooling anyone. But go ahead. Keep pretending." Himari then says she sends selfies to try and get Saito's attention, but he never replies. Suddenly, he sends back a message saying he's not interested. Akane's surprised. He never messages back, and Himari picks up on it right away. Akane had been waiting for that reply. If she didn't care about Saito, she wouldn't be so frustrated by that kind of thing. Akane tries to deny her feelings, but Himari hits her with the truth. There's no way you can hate someone you don't care about. Akane finally admits she really does have feelings for him. After Himari leaves, she starts thinking about studying harder so she can beat Saito's grades, but she keeps checking her phone non-stop. She's really feeling lonely in that house. Meanwhile, Saito's taking care of Shinsei while she sleeps. His grandpa tries to get him to drink, but Saito reminds him he's underage. "I'm telling you, this old man's wild, completely out of touch." So instead, they hand him some herbal drink to suffer a bit, and he takes Shinsei to her room, but decides to sleep in a different one. Akane calls, saying she feels weird not fighting with him, and gently, she asks if he can come back home. Worried, Saito finds a way to head back, but as soon as he arrives, the door's locked, so he tries to get in through the window. Akane, thinking he's a burglar, almost attacks him, but as soon as she realizes it's him, She tries to help him climb in. He explains he couldn't get through to her, so he just decided to come anyway. He took a bus and walked for 2 hours to get there. Yeah, man, this guy's really out here doing everything for love. After taking a shower, Saito heads to bed. Akane asks how the party went, but he doesn't respond. Seeing how exhausted he is from walking all that way, she just tucks him in and quietly welcomes him back home. Half asleep, he gets this strange deja vu from hearing her calm voice and starts wondering, could Akane actually be that girl he met in the past? Saito wakes up to find Akane just staring at him. Surprised, he asks what she's doing. She says she's just watching, because he looks like a total idiot. She invites him to watch a movie and even bakes cookies to go with it. Saito, a little suspicious, asks why she's being so nice, but before she can answer, he gets a message from Himari. Akane, clearly jealous, asks if he's flirting, but he says he's just being polite. Knowing Himari's been sending him those kinds of pics, Akane assumes he probably saved them, but Saito swears he'd never do that. At one point, Akane says they hadn't seen each other in a long time, so he asks what she meant by that. She says she just confused him with someone else, but then walks off, wondering why he doesn't remember. In a flashback, Akane remembers Saito's grandfather's party. She remembers seeing him off by himself and walking over to say she feels out of place too. When she tries to walk away so she doesn't bother him, he stops her and says he wants to spend time with her. During the entrance exam, Akane gives it her all, but Saito ends up in first place. At the enrollment ceremony, she greets him, but he doesn't recognize her at all. Back in the present, Akane admits she hates Saito for not remembering the moment they shared back then. She's frustrated because she had hoped to relive that memory. He asks if he hurt her, but she just tells him to let it go. We cut to another scene. Himari is approached by a group of guys. One of them tries to grab her, but Saito jumps in and protects her, claiming to be her boyfriend. He tells her she should go home. She thanks him, but says she'd rather not. Her stepmother is there, so Saito decides to stay with her. Blushing, Himari reminds him that he still owes her a favor, and before he can say a word, bam, she plants a kiss on him. This girl does not waste time, man. She got her chance and went all in. The next day, Maho and Shinsei notice Saito's acting a little off. Maho suspects he might have kissed Akane or something, but he says it wasn't her. Shinsei presses him, and just then, Himari shows up, asking to talk to Saito in private. He admits he's never kissed anyone before, and Himari, clearly pleased, says that was her first kiss. Then she asks if he wants to do it again. That's your cue, man. Go for it. Just go for it. But what does our boy do? He politely turns down another kiss from that goddess. Seriously. Later, Akane hears classmates talking about Himari and is shocked to see a picture of their kiss. Stunned, she runs off, but ends up bumping into Himari, who boldly says she's going to be with Saito for real now. At home, Akane remembers all the moments with Himari and the promise they made never to betray each other's friendship. Saito shows up and gives her a little cake, and then, out of nowhere, she just starts crying. He asks if she didn't like the cake, but Akane says she's actually happy and just starts eating it. Yeah, she's totally losing it. Anyway, reflecting on it all, Akane decides to take action and asks Himari for a talk. She tells her to stop pretending to be Saito's girlfriend, saying it's all gone way too far. Himari snaps back that the whole marriage thing is just a formality, and she's not stopping unless Akane gives her a real reason to. That's when Akane drops the bomb. She's in love with Saito, but Himari says she's always liked him, while Akane just treated him like garbage the whole time. The two of them start arguing over who really deserves to be with him. Akane realizes Himari only started the fake girlfriend plan to get close to him, and Himari admits it. She's always loved him in secret, and yeah, she used psychology to try and win him over. But she also hoped Akane would figure out her own feelings too. They both acknowledge they're best friends, but also rivals in love, and they decide to stop holding back and fight fair for our prota's heart. Later, Saito notices Akane's acting weird, and when he checks her temperature, he says she's burning up. She tells him it's because of his touch. Totally confused, he mentions it to Maho and Shinsei, thinking Akane's mad because of the kiss with Himari. Then Himari shows up and says she's invited him out. Akane, furious, demands a word with her and tells her to stay away from our prota. He, still totally clueless, asks if he's causing a fight between the two of them. Akane, with that threatening glare, tells him to stay away and says if he comes near her again, she's gonna kill him. Our prota's just sitting there like, what the hell did I do wrong? And she, angry, says she'll never tell him because she hates him more than anything. But you and I both know that hate is pure love. And that, folks, is the end of this anime season. So what did you think, man? Did you see all this drama coming? That kiss with Himari? Akane realizing her feelings but keeping it all inside? What about you? Did you expect any of this? I didn't. Not at all. Let me know in the comments what you thought was gonna happen. What you thought of the anime. Did you enjoy it? Talk to me down there. There's a lot more coming, so hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. I'm leaving another video here for you to check out. This one's another awesome anime. Click and take a look. If you liked this one, drop a like, man. It really helps out. I'll catch you in the next anime, bro. Peace out.